Hi, I'm Bradley Boester, and I'm going to be shooting basketball left-handed. I'm the one that has no experience with this. Brandon Carter is my partner, and he has a little bit of experience since he played basketball. So what we have to do is we have to do 50 free throws. We're going to do 4 times a week and for 3 weeks. And let's see if I can get this done.
To specify a little bit more, out of 50 free throws every single day, we count how many we actually made. So sometimes we'll make 22, 18, whatever it is, and then we'll write that down every single day. And as far as like how many times we did it, we made sure to keep track of trying to do it the same day every single time. As you can see here right away, I'm not very confident in my shot. The shot varies in strength, and I don't really know exactly how to push it up. I had to jump up. Luckily I made that one. I was glad to get that one. But when I'm shooting, I had to jump. I had to really push it to actually get it up there, and I'm not flicking my wrist to really get that perfect accuracy. But now that I've done it for a couple weeks, I have that flick of the wrist. I'm using my left hand and not both of my hands when I shoot, and I'm not jumping. I'm bending my knees and getting down, getting that perfect arc so it just gets a perfect shot like that.
My name is Brandon Carter. I am 36 years old. I'm about 6'2.5" and about 220 pounds. I play collegiately basketball at Binghamton University. I had some opportunities to play overseas.
For Brandon, he's a lot more fluid with his shot. He makes sure to bend his knees, get that high arching shot, and he's a lot more accurate because of that. Still, he overthinks it a little bit because he really has to think about how to push the ball and flick his wrist to get it into the basket right. Now you can see that Brandon is a lot more fluid with his shot. He's more confident, he's not overthinking it. He's just using the skills that he's learned from basketball over the years to just make these free throws perfectly. Look at the flick of the wrist, look at the bend of the knees, and the arch of the shot goes right into the basket. For the graph, you can see my performance in orange. I started off averaging about 7 made shots, and then right around that second week, I figured it out. It all clicked for me, and then right after that, I would make about 17 shots at an average. Where Brandon started off making about 22 made shots, and then progressively made that improvement, but couldn't improve as much as me since I started off worse. Now the summary chart is interesting because for retention for me, I started out making 7 shots, and then on the very final one I made 18, and then my retention, my absolute retention would be 16. So I got a percentage score of 11%, which means I had a retention of 89%, which is close to that 90% that we wanted and predicted as far as retention goes. While Brandon shot 22 in the beginning, shot 27 on his final attempt, but when he had the retention, his absolute retention was actually lower than his first. He only made 21 on his last one, which means that his retention was actually 0%. For improvement, we predicted that we'd increase by 25%. So I increased by 171% because I went from 7 to 19 made shots, and Brandon increased by 22% because he went from 22 made shots to 29. And as we predicted, I would improve more because I made such a drastic change over time. And as far as performance goes, we predicted that Brandon would make more shots because of his experience. He made 29 as his max, and I made 19 as my max, so that was correct. If you are going to do this study in the future, make sure that both of you are shooting the same amount every day that you do it. That way, neither is getting an advantage.